Chosen one, stop for a moment. I need your full attention right now. Someone who is rarely impressed has been trying to understand why your presence feels so different. This is not because you are loud. It is not because you chase attention. And it is not because you have been trying to make powerful people notice you. The truth is much deeper than that. There is a person with influence around you, or entering your world soon, who cannot easily dismiss what they feel when you are near. They have met polished people. They have met charming people. They have met gifted people who know exactly how to sell an image. But something in you refuses to blend into that same pattern, and that is what keeps pulling their mind back to you. You may not even realize this is happening. That is how unusual it is. You are not performing, you are not forcing, you are not trying to create fascination, yet your energy leaves a mark. Your stillness says something, your restraint says something, and the way you carry yourself in rooms where others scramble for position tells a story that someone important has already started reading very carefully. For a long time, you thought your silence was costing you. You thought maybe you should speak more, explain more, promote yourself more, and make yourself easier for people to understand. But every time you tried to become more like the world around you, something inside you tightened. Something felt off. Because you were never designed to win through noise. You were designed to reveal yourself differently. You know what it feels like to be misunderstood. You know what it feels like to walk into a room, sense the atmosphere within seconds, and then watch people underestimate you because you did not immediately start talking. You know what it feels like to notice the hidden tension in someone's smile, the insecurity behind someone's confidence, and the hunger beneath someone's polished image, while pretending not to see any of it. That has been one of the heaviest parts of your journey. You have seen more than you were allowed to say. You have recognized motives that other people missed. You have felt warning signs before events unfolded. And because you could not always prove what you sensed in the moment, there were times when you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were reading too much into things. You wondered if your quiet nature was making you suspicious. You wondered if your sensitivity was a flaw. It was not a flaw. It was never a flaw. It was a language. It was a signal. It was a form of perception that many people do not develop until life has already broken them open. And even then, most still do not know how to hold it with grace. But you have been carrying it for longer than you realize, even in seasons when you tried to suppress it so other people would feel more comfortable around you. That alone unsettles people who live on performance. It unsettles people who are used to being able to read a room quickly and control the social rhythm. It unsettles people who expect everybody to react to status, charm, beauty, power, or pressure in predictable ways. You do not always react in those predictable ways. You can be respectful without becoming impressed. You can be kind without becoming eager. You can be warm without becoming easy to manipulate. That is already rare. But the reason this high-profile person cannot ignore you goes further than that. There are two unusual qualities moving together inside you, and most people only carry one of them at a time. I am going to reveal the first one shortly. But before I do, you need to understand why your recent life has felt so strange, and why this season has forced you to notice parts of yourself that used to stay hidden beneath survival. Lately, you may have felt more pulled back than usual, more observant, more selective. There are days when you want silence more than conversation. Days when crowds feel noisy, even when they are smiling. Days when your spirit picks up something false before your mind can explain it. You may have even caught yourself withdrawing from people who once felt familiar, not because you became cold, but because your inner world stopped tolerating what your old self used to excuse. That shift matters. It does not mean you are broken. It does not mean you are failing socially. And it does not mean you are losing your warmth. It means something inside you has matured. Your standards have changed. Your nervous system has become less willing to play along with confusion, and your soul has become less available for spaces that demand performance while starving truth. A person with real influence can feel that difference immediately. Why? Because people who live in high-level rooms see imitation all the time. They see curated charm. They see strategic politeness. They see ambition wrapped in humility. They see people trying to appear deep, calm, spiritual, intelligent, and connected. After a while, they develop a sensitivity of their own. They can feel who is trying too hard. They can feel who wants something. And when they cross paths with someone who is not begging to be noticed, it interrupts them. You interrupt them, not with drama, not with force, but with contrast. You do not chase the center of the room, yet your presence lingers in the mind. You do not advertise your depth, yet people can feel there is more beneath the surface. You do not rush to prove your value, and that alone separates you from crowds of people who have made self-promotion their whole personality. Someone powerful sees that, and they cannot file you away like everyone else. Maybe part of you still struggles to believe this. That is understandable. You have spent too many years being overlooked by people who could only recognize flashy forms of power. You have spent too many years being the one who listened, the one who observed, the one who held yourself together quietly while louder personalities collected credit. But being underestimated by shallow people did not erase what was always there. It only delayed your recognition of it. And that is changing now. You are beginning to see that your quietness was not emptiness. Your restraint was not weakness. Your privacy was not a defect. Your distance was not arrogance. Many times it was wisdom. Many times it was protection. Many times it was your spirit refusing to hand sacred parts of you to people who had not earned the right to hold them. That is one reason this message is reaching you now. You are ready to understand yourself through a higher lens. So hear me clearly. The person noticing you is not confused by your lack of noise. They are reading your depth. They are watching the gap between how little you perform and how much you reveal anyway. And that gap is where the first rare quality begins to shine. If this is reaching a place in you that has felt hidden for years, type clearly below. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, just to mark the moment you finally stop calling your difference a problem. Because the first quality is something people spend years trying to imitate, and in you, it often appears before you even speak. There is something I want to name early, because I do not want to hide a useful tool behind mystery. The clarity we are talking about has a practical side. A researcher named Dr. Robert Lake created a 7-minute audio called The Genius Song. It is designed around brain entrainment and gamma activity, which the product presents as a way to support sharper focus and inner clarity. You do not need to decide anything right now. If you already feel curious, the official path is placed below in the description and the pinned comment. But stay with me if you want the full picture, because the tool only makes sense when you understand what is already operating inside you. The first rare quality is about to become very clear. The first quality is quiet discernment. You notice more than you announce. You can enter a room and sense who is genuine before anyone gives you proof. You catch changes in tone. You notice when words and actions do not match. You often recognize the direction of a situation before other people are willing to admit what is happening. This does not mean you are suspicious of everyone. It does not mean you assume the worst. Real discernment is calmer than fear. It does not shout. It watches. It waits. And because you have learned to pause before reacting, you often see patterns that impatient people completely miss while they are busy trying to control the moment. Think about how many times this has happened. Someone told you a story, and one small detail did not fit. Everyone else accepted it. You stayed quiet. Later, the truth surfaced. Or Someone entered your life with a beautiful image, but your spirit felt a small resistance that you could not explain. You ignored it at first, and time eventually showed you why that signal mattered. You have also felt this in group settings. You can sense when laughter is hiding tension. You can tell when respect is real and when it is only performance. You notice who changes personality around power. You notice who becomes louder when they feel insecure. You notice who listens only because they are waiting for their turn to speak. Most people miss these things because they focus only on words. You do not focus only on words. You read timing. You read consistency. You read what happens when nobody is being rewarded. You watch what people do when they believe no one important is looking. And that is why your judgment often becomes clearer with time. You are not trying to expose people. You are simply unwilling to confuse presentation with character anymore. That is one reason a high-profile person notices you differently. People with influence are surrounded by reactions. They see people become nervous around them. They see people become overly agreeable. They see people laugh too hard, compliment too much, and shape every sentence around the hope of being chosen. Then you appear, and you remain centered enough to observe instead of perform. You can respect someone without worshipping their status. You can listen without surrendering your own judgment. You can admire skill without assuming character. You can recognize influence without shrinking. That combination creates a quiet tension because powerful people are used to knowing what effect they have on others. With you, the effect is not so easy to predict. That unpredictability is not manipulation, it is self-possession. You are not trying to be mysterious. You are simply not leaking yourself everywhere. You do not hand over your opinions before they are formed. You do not reveal every wound to people who have not earned trust. And you do not rush to show your intelligence just because someone important entered the room. This is where many people misunderstand you. They call you guarded. They call you distant. They call you hard to read. Sometimes they even assume you are uninterested. But the deeper truth is that you have learned the difference between access and connection. You can connect with someone without giving them immediate access to every private room inside you. That lesson was not cheap. You learned it through disappointment. You learned it through being too available. You learned it through giving people the benefit of the doubt long after your inner warning had already spoken. You learned it through moments when you explained away what you saw because you wanted peace. And each time, life taught you to trust what repeated patterns were showing you. This is why your discernment feels stronger now. You are no longer collecting signs only to ignore them. You are no longer calling every red flag a misunderstanding. You are no longer forcing yourself to stay comfortable with people who create confusion. Your inner world has become more honest. That honesty is changing how you choose, how you speak, and how long you remain in certain spaces. Joseph carried this kind of perception. He could recognize meaning where other people saw only confusion. Daniel carried it too. He could stand before powerful rulers without losing his inner center. Neither of them needed to become loud to be useful. Their value became visible because they could perceive what others could not, and still remain steady enough to act with wisdom. That pattern matters for you. Quiet discernment is not about being above anyone. It is about seeing clearly enough to avoid being pulled into every emotional current around you. The room can be anxious, and you can remain still. Someone can flatter you, and you can remain observant. Someone can pressure you, and you can take one more moment before deciding what you actually believe. A high-profile person can feel that restraint. They may not have language for it yet. They may only know that you do not react like everyone else. You do not rush toward approval. You do not panic when attention shifts away from you. You do not collapse when someone impressive disagrees with you. There is a quiet center in you, and it makes people look twice. But this is where the story becomes more interesting. Discernment by itself is not enough to create the kind of fascination we are talking about. Powerful people meet intelligent observers all the time. They meet strategists. They meet analysts. They meet people who can read motives and predict behavior. Many of those people are sharp, but they become cold, proud, controlling, or suspicious. You are being noticed because something else is standing beside your discernment. Something softer, something stronger than aggression. Something that appeared most clearly after you had every reason to become bitter. That second quality is the part they cannot reconcile with the first. And when you understand why those two qualities exist together inside you, the entire pattern will make sense. Chosen one. Now we need to go deeper into why this first quality matters so much. Quiet discernment is not simply the ability to notice details. It is the ability to remain yourself while you notice them. Many people can read a room, but they immediately change to fit it. You have been learning to do something different. You can sense the room without surrendering your center to the room. That difference was formed through experience. There were seasons when being open cost you. There were seasons when giving too much access left you drained. You learned what happens when you ignore your inner warning because you want to keep the peace. You learned what happens when you explain away repeated patterns. And slowly, your spirit stopped confusing kindness with unlimited availability. This is why your silence has changed. It is no longer the silence of someone afraid to speak. It is becoming the silence of someone who does not need to react to everything. There is a difference. Fearful silence shrinks. Wise silence observes. Fearful silence hides. Wise silence waits until words are useful. That is the kind of restraint a person with real influence notices very quickly. You are becoming selective, not cold. You are becoming grounded, not distant. You are becoming harder to manipulate, not harder to love. 3. Those distinctions matter because your old identity may still try to accuse you. It may tell you that setting limits makes you selfish. It may tell you that pulling back makes you unkind. But maturity often looks like less access, fewer explanations, and clearer choices. That is the work of a watchman. A watchman does not panic at every sound. A watchman learns what deserves attention. A watchman notices movement before the crowd sees it. And a watchman is not useful because of noise. The value comes from steadiness, patience, and the ability to recognize what is changing before everyone else reacts to it. That is where your growth has been happening. You are learning that discernment without peace becomes suspicion. Discernment without humility becomes pride. Discernment without boundaries becomes exhaustion. But discernment anchored in peace becomes wisdom. It allows you to see clearly without becoming consumed by what you see. That is why your presence feels different now than it did a few years ago. You are also becoming a cycle breaker in a very practical way. Maybe your family taught you to tolerate confusion, to keep people together. Maybe you learned to stay quiet because honesty created conflict. Maybe you became the fixer, the mediator, or the person who absorbed tension for everyone else. Now that pattern is changing. You can love people without carrying what belongs to them. This is why high-level people notice internal coherence. In rooms filled with ambition, many people become different versions of themselves depending on who enters. Their voice changes, their posture changes, their opinions shift, their values become flexible. But a person who remains internally consistent becomes easy to remember because consistency is rare when status and opportunity are in the room. Joseph understood that kind of consistency. He moved through betrayal, confinement, uncertainty, and sudden access to power. Yet, his value was not built on trying to look important. His value became visible when a difficult problem required perception and steadiness. He could recognize meaning in confusion, and he could communicate it without collapsing under the weight of the room around him. Daniel carried a similar pattern. He entered spaces controlled by people with enormous authority, but he did not need to surrender his inner convictions to survive those spaces. He could be respectful without becoming spiritually dependent on approval. He could be useful without becoming owned. That is a powerful pattern because it shows that true influence often begins with inner stability before it ever becomes visible authority. This is the part many people miss. Power is not always impressed by more power. Sometimes power is interrupted by someone who cannot be easily moved by it. Someone who can walk into an important room and remain human. Someone who can listen carefully without becoming intimidated. Someone who can recognize opportunity without losing discernment. That kind of person becomes memorable for reasons that appearance cannot explain. And that is what is happening around you. Someone is not only noticing what you say, they are studying what you do not do. They notice that you do not rush to impress. They notice that you do not interrupt to prove intelligence. They notice that you can sit with silence. They notice that you do not become desperate when attention moves elsewhere. Those absences reveal more than performance ever could. Stay with me here, because there is one moment that changes the meaning of everything. This person has already seen the first quality. They have seen your discernment. But there was another moment, perhaps small on the surface, when they saw something completely different in you. That moment is the reason they stopped placing you in the same category as everyone else. Before we reach that moment, understand what discernment has protected in you. It protected your ability to choose slowly. It protected your ability to see patterns instead of promises. It protected your ability to recognize when charm and character were not the same thing. And it protected your future from decisions your old self might have made simply because someone powerful offered attention. That is why you are not meant to become impressed too quickly. Attention is not always alignment. Access is not always favor. Opportunity is not always assignment. A door can be open and still be wrong for you. Your first rare quality helps you pause long enough to ask what the door requires from your character before you decide whether walking through it is worth the cost. Now, think about the high-profile person again. They are used to quick reactions. They are used to people becoming excited around possibility. They are used to others signaling what they want. But you do not always reveal your hunger. You listen. You watch. You let the moment settle. And that creates a question in their mind. Who is this person who can stand near influence without becoming consumed by it? And now we come to the part that changes the entire story. The second quality did not appear when life was easy. It appeared when you had every reason to become bitter. Someone disappointed you. Someone tested your boundaries. Someone gave you enough reason to become cold, reactive, or desperate to prove a point. But instead of becoming what hurt you, you responded in a way this person did not expect. That response is what they remember. It was not weakness. It was not passivity. It was not you surrendering your dignity. It was something stronger than aggression and more difficult than revenge. You stayed soft without becoming available for disrespect. And that is where the second rare quality begins. Chosen one, now the second quality can finally be named. It is gentle authority. You have learned how to remain kind without handing your power away. You can care without becoming available for disrespect. You can forgive without reopening every door. And you can walk away without turning your departure into a performance designed to make someone feel guilty. That is far rarer than most people understand. Many people become hard after betrayal. Many become loud after being ignored. Many become controlling after being manipulated. But your deepest growth has been teaching you another way. You can establish a boundary without hatred. You can say no without needing revenge. You can protect your peace without proving that the other person was wrong. This is where someone influential began seeing you differently. They may have expected pressure to change you. They may have expected disappointment to make you reactive. They may have expected you to chase an explanation, demand attention, or fight to control the outcome. Instead, you remained composed. You did not become small. You did not become cruel. You simply became clear. That clarity carried weight. It showed that your gentleness was not weakness. It showed that your calm was not fear. It showed that you could hold compassion and boundaries at the same time. And that combination is difficult to imitate because it usually comes from experience. It comes from being tested enough times to understand that strength does not always need an audience. You have probably lived through moments when your old self would have over-explained. You would have written the long message. You would have tried to make someone finally understand your heart. You would have stayed too long because leaving felt unkind. But something changed. You began realizing that peace does not require everyone to agree with your decision. That realization changed the way you carry power. You no longer need to punish someone to prove that they hurt you. You no longer need to expose every person who misunderstood you. You can see clearly, choose clearly, and keep moving. That is gentle authority. It is not passive, it is disciplined. And people who are used to emotional games can feel the difference immediately. Now the two rare qualities finally stand beside each other. The first is discernment without arrogance. The second is gentleness without weakness. This is the combination that makes you difficult to categorize. You can see through people without despising them. You can carry authority without trying to dominate. You can recognize status without bowing to it. You can remain kind without becoming easy to control. That is the real revelation. This high-profile person is not mesmerized because you possess two impressive traits in isolation. They are struck by the contradiction. Sharp people often become cynical. Kind people often struggle with boundaries. Powerful people often need recognition. Sensitive people often absorb every emotion around them. But you are learning to hold qualities that usually separate from each other. That does not mean they are guaranteed to offer you a job, a relationship, money, or access. The deeper point is more important. They have begun reassessing who you are. They may have first seen you as quiet. Then they noticed your perception. Then they watched how you handled pressure. Now they understand that the silence was never emptiness. It was structure. And this is where your own identity must catch up with what others are beginning to see. You cannot keep calling yourself weak because you refused to become cruel. You cannot keep calling yourself invisible because you refuse to perform. You cannot keep calling yourself too sensitive because you notice what others overlook. The old labels no longer describe the person you are becoming. So let us make the meaning simple. Why did this happen? Because life kept placing you in situations where perception and character had to grow together. What was formed? Discernment that can see clearly, and gentleness that can remain strong. Who are you becoming? Someone who no longer needs performance to communicate value, because your choices reveal what your words once tried to prove. Stay grounded in that. The goal is not to become fascinated with being watched. The goal is to recognize what the attention is reflecting back to you. Someone important noticing these qualities does not create them. Their attention only mirrors what has already been built. Your task is not to chase the observer. Your task is to become fully aligned with the qualities they already noticed. And this brings us back to something I mentioned earlier. I named a 7-minute audio called The Genius Song because mental clarity matters when you are learning to trust discernment without becoming overwhelmed by noise. The product creator, Dr. Robert Lake, presents it as a brain entrainment tool built around gamma activity and focused attention. It is not meant to replace your judgment. It is presented as a support for clarity. The reason I am bringing it back now is simple. The first quality depends on noticing patterns without drowning in them. The second depends on staying centered enough to choose your response instead of reacting automatically. When your mind feels scattered, both become harder to express. That is why the idea of restoring a calmer, more focused inner state connects naturally with everything we have been discussing. Dr. Robert Lake describes his work as a longer system of mental restoration rather than one isolated audio. The track we are discussing is one entry point into that body of work. Research on gamma activity has been explored at institutions such as MIT and Princeton, but those institutions are not being presented here as endorsing this specific product. The claim belongs to the product creator, and you should evaluate it with that distinction clear. Another concern is time. You may already feel mentally overloaded. You may not want another complicated practice. That is why the 7-minute format is part of the appeal described by the creator. It is designed to be simple. The recommended use involves stereo headphones, a quiet place, and 1 session a day. No complicated ritual is required for the basic protocol. And some people will wonder whether this is simply relaxing music with a dramatic name. That is the most important objection to address before any price is mentioned. The product is presented as using brain entrainment rather than ordinary background audio. That does not mean you should accept every claim without thought. It means you should judge the tool according to what it says it was built to do. Now you understand the full context. The tool is not here to make you chosen. It is not here to manufacture discernment. It is not here to create gentleness. Those qualities were forged through your own experience. The product is being positioned as a support for focus and clarity. Nothing more mystical than that needs to be added. And now there is only one practical question left. If you decide that clearer focus would support the person you are becoming, what does access to the original version actually involve? That is where we go next. Chosen one. Now we can finish the practical side without losing the meaning of everything you just heard. If clearer focus feels useful for the person you are becoming, the original The Genius song is currently presented at $39 as a one-time purchase. The regular price listed by the creator is $49. There is no monthly subscription attached to that core offer. That matters because many familiar options cost more over time. A meditation app can become another monthly bill. A single therapy session may cost around $150. A weekend retreat can cost several $100s. Those paths may have value for different reasons, but they are not the same thing. This offer is specifically framed around a 7-minute audio and gamma-focused brain entrainment. The creator also includes 4 digital bonuses. Genius Child is listed at $19. The Classic Book is listed at $20. The Guided Visualization is listed at $29. The 5-Habit Infographic is listed at $12. Together, the stated bonus value is $80, and those bonuses are included with the $39 access price. There is also a 90-day guarantee. According to the product terms, you can request a refund during that period if the experience does not feel worthwhile to you. The unusual part is that the 4 bonuses remain yours even after a refund. That structure is meant to reduce the fear of trying something that may or may not fit your needs. The product data also states that 18,366 people have used it, with fewer than 4% requesting refunds. Treat those numbers as information supplied by the seller, not as a promise about what will happen for you personally. Your experience can be different. Clarity is not a race, and no audio should be treated like a guarantee of money, influence, or attention from another person. If you choose to use it, keep the protocol simple. Use stereo headphones or earbuds. Sit somewhere quiet. Give the track 7 uninterrupted minutes. 1 session a day is enough, according to the instructions. Do not use it while driving or doing anything that requires full attention. The goal is consistency, not intensity. Now, one more thing matters. There are copies and unrelated tracks online using similar language. If you decide to examine the product, use the official link placed in the description and the pinned comment connected to this message. Do not assume a random upload on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, or another page is the same file. The original offer is the one connected with the stated bonuses and guarantee. And before you move toward any link, pause for one moment. You do not need to prove your identity by spending money. You do not need to purchase anything to be a chosen one. Ask a quieter question. Would a simple focus tool genuinely support the way you want to think, decide, and move through your next season? If the answer is yes, you can examine the official page and decide for yourself. That is the complete offer. Nothing needs to be exaggerated beyond that. The Genius Song is presented as a 7-minute brain entrainment audio with the listed bonuses, the stated guarantee, and the creator claims you have now heard clearly. Your discernment still belongs to you. Use it here exactly as you would use it anywhere else. Now, put the product aside. Come back to the reason this message found you. The rare thing is not that a high-profile person noticed you. The rare thing is what they noticed. They saw a person who can perceive deeply without becoming arrogant. They saw someone who can remain gentle without becoming weak. Those two qualities together create a kind of presence that cannot be manufactured by performance. Your discernment became visible when the room became confusing. Your gentleness became visible when someone gave you a reason to become harsh. That is why these qualities carry weight. They were not chosen from a list of attractive traits. They were formed through decisions. You learned to see without attacking. You learned to protect yourself without becoming the thing that wounded you. This is the part you must remember when new doors begin opening. Do not become louder just because the room is important. Do not abandon your standards because someone influential offers access. Do not confuse being noticed with being owned. You can appreciate recognition while remaining centered. You can receive opportunity while still asking whether it aligns with the person you have fought to become. Someone with status may see something valuable in you. Good, let them see it. But do not build your identity around their attention. Their interest is only a mirror. It reflects qualities that existed before they arrived. If they leave tomorrow, your discernment remains. Your gentleness remains. Your boundaries remain. Your capacity to walk through a room without surrendering yourself remains. Chosen one, your next season is not asking you to become colder. It is asking you to become clearer. It is not asking you to distrust everyone. It is asking you to trust patterns. It is not asking you to reject powerful people. It is asking you to stop shrinking around them. You can enter important rooms with humility and still remember who you are. And you can leave the wrong room without hatred. You can say no without creating an enemy. You can forgive and still keep a boundary. You can remain compassionate while refusing repeated disrespect. This is the balance you were learning all along. Discernment protects your path. Gentle authority protects your heart. Together, they allow you to move without fear and without unnecessary hardness. So make this declaration with me. I do not need to perform to be seen. I trust what repeated patterns reveal. My kindness does not cancel my boundaries. My boundaries do not cancel my compassion. I can carry strength without becoming hard. I can enter powerful rooms without abandoning myself. I can receive recognition without becoming dependent on it. I release the need to explain every decision. I release the need to win every misunderstanding. I release the old belief that being gentle means being easy to control. I release the old belief that being quiet means being invisible. I choose clarity. I choose character. I choose peace that does not require me to betray what I know. And if this message finally gave language to something you have carried for years, write, I carry, both below. Let those words mark your recognition of discernment and gentle authority living together in you. If messages like this help you understand what your season is teaching you, stay connected for the next one. Keep growing, keep watching, and keep your center. The door ahead does not require you to chase it. Walk toward it with calm eyes. Let the right people notice what they notice. Let the wrong people misunderstand what they cannot recognize. Your job is not to control their perception. Your job is to remain aligned with the person you have become. You see clearly, you remain gentle, and this time, you do not abandon either one.